Come back. Well, a moment ago, you saw that report from Zaniko Mhlaba in Ekurhuleni about the process of taking officials in the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department through a vetting process. Dr. Azwihangwisi Mphindi is an adjunct academic at the UNISA Department of Police Practice. Dr. Mphindi, good afternoon to you. We hear about officials being vetted all the time. In a situation like this,
Yes.
What kind of process would you expect to actually happen? What is vetting supposed to do, really?
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Actually, a vetting process must happen at the beginning of an employment process. They must also happen in the middle of an employment process. Why? It is very important that all the South African police and Metro Police Department, they go through this rigorous screening process for, like I said, application and the current officers. This includes criminal records checks, where they take our fingerprints for verification, security clearances via state security agency, the lifestyle audits while I'm within the employment, and they also have to check my financial disclosure, whether I'm living beyond my means, and often targeting corruption. So what happens is that even though, let's say, I'm a new applicant, and then I come in clean, and then during the process, you find that there are allegations about me and everything, it's very important that they must be investigated. That's when the lifestyle audit must also take place. And the candidates must be South African citizens and must not have any pending criminal cases and pass medical and psychological tests when they come in. So it's very important that this must happen, because we're dealing with the law here, and we need to know that, are you trustworthy to come and abide by the law and serve the South African citizens? So it must happen in the beginning, it must happen in the middle, it must happen anytime.
Okay, and then when you talk about...
There's nothing wrong with this process.
No, sure. When you talk about going to someone's finances, I mean, would that mean that if I were the person being vetted, you would have access to my bank account? You'd be able to see if I'd received payments from someone suspicious or unexplained payments even?
Yes, you'll be able to see. Remember, when the applications are being they are being advertised, we know the scales of salary scales within the government. Everyone, including HR, will know how much I get paid, or just let's just say the bandwidth, how much am I getting paid? And then from there, so now I start driving Range Rover while I'm only earning 10,000 rand. You see now, it means that I'm living a specific lifestyle which is beyond my means. So evidently there's bound to be suspicions. Where do I get this money? Where is this money coming from? You see, it's not a bad thing that they have to go through my financial record, because you find that I'm extorting people on the streets or finding money in any other manner, which I can be able to afford this leverage lifestyle. It must happen. It must take place.
And who is supposed to do the vetting? They obviously have to be competent. And then I also have to know, if I'm the person being vetted, that the person looking at my bank account is someone I can trust. They're not going to go and tell everyone what I spend my money on.
The state security must make such decisions. You see, they have to make such decisions, and also with the help of the SAPS, they also need to do that. There must be some sort of a reason why we have to do it. People can't just come, or management cannot just come and say, no, we need to be doing this to you right now. They have got qualified people who are educated for this process, who are trained for this process, that, okay, you deal with the background of where do I come from, others deal with the background of the financial records and so forth. So each and everyone is qualified enough to do the process within the state security.
I hate to say this, Dr. Mphindi, but frankly, I don't think I trust state security because of everything that's happened there over the years. And someone could easily say, well, I don't trust the state security agency, and they'll be able to bring evidence. And this brings me to another point, is you could, if you wanted to, use vetting to keep a good candidate out, couldn't you?
Yes, of course. I understand that there are other officers who will want to refuse to proceed with this, or legally justify it, or just a vetting process, roadside checks of some stop or something like that. But when the time comes, qualified people will be doing this. And signing and agreeing that I want to be part of this institution. It also mandatory that you must understand that even during the process of your employment, this must take place, irrespective of whether the person who's doing the vetting is qualified enough or not. So that's another matter. But it must take place. If it doesn't take place, what will you be hiding? That's another suspicion coming out now, isn't it?
No, sure. I mean, someone would have to agree. So, I mean, I have to put this point, which is that we've seen people being vetted for years and years and years, and it hasn't stopped corruption. And I realize in Ekurhuleni they haven't had a vetting process for some time in the Metro Police Department there. But I have to ask if the process of vetting as we currently use it really does what we want it to do, which is to stop corruption.
It's not, because it sounds like, or it looks like, the people who are supposed to be doing the vetting, that particular process, it looks like it's also being intercepted by unwanted forces. Because if we have taken the forms right now and said, now we're vetting each other, this is the process in the beginning, and then it goes to SAPS or it goes to the state agency, whom does it go to? Whom does it go to? And that particular person, why do they halt the process? Why does it have to take long to say, no, this person is being suspected of corruption and this is what's happening? Why can't it be fastened? It means that there is some sort of a line of people who are also blocking these processes to happen, so that these other top officials, they can serve a long time, busy, while they are, or maybe everybody knows that this person is corrupt or they are being suspected of being corrupt. There is also a challenge on that side. Hence, if we're doing the vetting process, it must just happen quickly. It doesn't have to be stopped in another level of the process, whether it's within the SAPS or within the state agency. That also must be looked into.
Sure. So what I'm trying to say is that people go through the vetting process and they end up being appointed to the position and they've been vetted, and yet they still sometimes end up being involved in corruption. So I'm saying, I mean, does the way in which we vet people actually stop corruption? And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't know that it does.
Yes, I understand that. That's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying that there is some sort of a problem. There is some sort of a problem where there's someone who halts the process. If I'm found to be suspicious of something or of a corruption, why do I have to continue on working? And while everybody knows that I'm being suspected of this, I'm not put on leave to not work, and I continue on working, and everybody knows it. It poisons the whole department.
Well, I mean, this is what we see. Are there ways to improve it? I mean, I think from what you say, doing it more regularly, certainly every year, that would be a starting point. Are there other questions we need to ask? I mean, you can keep money out of your bank account. You can have it in someone else's bank account. If you are corrupt and you deal in cash, you can probably still keep it under your bed. No one's really going to look under your bed. I mean, there are always ways to improve it, I presume.
Yeah, yes, there is a way. We need to make sure that the people who are on top, or as the president indicated, that people must be vetted, that whatever he said, it must be carried out. It must happen. And the public must see it. The people of South Africa deserves the truth. They must see it that, okay, this process, the president indicated that this process must take place, and yes, it must take place, and we must see it through it. So now, whenever he can mention that and the process doesn't take place, or we keep on seeing people working, it reduces trust amongst South Africans, and corruption thrives.
Dr. Azwihangwisi Mphindi, thank you, an adjunct academic in the Department of Policing, of Police Practice at the University of South Africa, UNISA. A lot more